Okay, so this is all the mulch I've got to go spread out. It's going to take a little while to transport because I got to get it all over there. Anyway, I will some of it, and I'm going to just get on with a lot of it because it takes time for me to turn on and off the camera and move it around. And I don't want to run out of battery too early. So anyway, this all looks really good. I mean, there are a few, but it's to be expected. This was all just a complete carpet, and don't forget there's a lot of bees here, so I'm gonna want to move pretty quick once I do get the mulch going. They seem to get agitated within slowly, and then it picks up, so I'm gonna try to move it along. Did I happen to mention how much heavier wet mulch is than dry mulch? And it's rained and rained and rained and rained, so a lot of this is pretty wet. I can see the bees are back, so I'm hoping that I can go somewhat quick before they start swarming again. Just leveling out the earth a little bit to let it take the mulch a little more evenly. I don't feel bad about throwing weeds over there. It would be there anyway. I'm not adding anything extra really. So this red pot is full of water. I can't move it. I wanted to move it, but I tried and I heard a little crack. So sorry for that. I will replace the inner liner if you want me to, but it's still holding water, so I didn't damage it very much. But it was also a good sign to leave it alone. So if you look, you'll see the bees buzzing around. They're back. That's okay. I feel bad. I'm digging up their home. They probably haven't been disturbed in quite a long time. Yeah, this is looking much better than the last time, but it's still amazing how many little weeds there are. But it stays very damp here. It's a sandy, damp soil. Normally if it was sort of this sandy, like I can see sand, there'd be really good drainage, so I'm not sure why it's very wet. But I know that's why these little tiny weeds are growing. You kind of want to jiggle it around rocks or things in the garden, because sometimes a big branch will sit and block the way for smaller mulch to get right up against it. So I just sort of like to shuffle it in there to make sure that the mulch gets all the way down to the ground. The other reason there are so many little seeds even after, or little seedlings after I planted weeded along here, is because there is what we call a seed bank in the ground, and that just means that there are seeds that are still able to germinate that haven't yet, that can stay in the ground for, depending on the seed, different lengths of time. The one that I know off by heart, because it's my nemesis, is bindweed, which stays in the soil viable to germinate for up to 50 years. So if you eradicate the bindweed plants on your property and nothing grows, it can still grow 50 years later, which I find is crazy. So for all these little guys that are popping up now, they're probably seeds from this year, most of them anyway, and but some of them can be from years prior that are, when I tore up the soil the other day, they sort of rattled around and decided it was the time to germinate. So just because you get one big deep weeding by somebody, it doesn't mean that weeds aren't going to grow anymore. You'll notice a difference, but you're still going to have to stay on top of the maintenance to make sure that anything new that pops up does not flower and turn to seed. The bees are back. Like I said, a good thing I'm not like my friend who's allergic to bees. I would be encouraging him to move along to a different part. So far, touch wood, they're leaving me alone, but they're hovering closer and closer all the time. So I am just taking a break from spreading mulch, and I'm delivering bags around the yard. And I wanted to show you, I mentioned before there was something about Scott's mulch I didn't like. And it says right here on the bag, Color Guard formula exclusive. It provides season-long color that won't fade to gray, guaranteed. I'm gonna tell you, I know already this fades to gray, but what I really don't like is this. This here, this part's wet, and this part is dry, but stained black. The bags of mulch were okay, left out in the rain, fair deal. It's an outside product. It doesn't say that they should be stored anywhere not on paving stones or anything like that. I could even look here. Okay, it says that some color reduction will happen. That's fair enough, but I don't know if this is every brand, but I've noticed it was Scott's that the dye leaks all over good pavers. And I'm not just saying from here, because if you remember from the video before this one, these bags were originally closer to the pool gate. And this is where they were before. So you can see a lot of the dye drips out. So if you're going to use Scott's black mulch, don't pile it on pavers. At least I was not the one to pile it here, but I wouldn't have piled it on the grass, so I probably would have piled it on the pavers, and I'd feel a hell of a lot worse than I do just seeing this mess now. These people keep an impeccable yard. I've never seen bags of mulch bleed like this. I'd be curious to see if this happens with a product like Versailles, which is another kind of mulch I use, which I I like, and it's a very consistent mulch. There's no super huge chunks. It seems to be evenly shredded. You get some range, but not as much as with the Scots. So if you're buying this, beware. I didn't prune these spirea because they've got flowers and they're budding. And do you see the bee? Aww. Bees, yes please. Anyways, even though the homeowner had said, oh, they don't mind if I cut it, they don't, mind if they don't see the flowers, I try to encourage people to keep flowering shrubs as long as possible, because as you see, pollinators depend on these plants. It's not just for how it makes someone's garden look, it's also about feeding pollinators. So we've got to try to keep the flowers as long as possible, as long as there's pollen on them, and then cut them back and make everything polished. But just because maybe you as a human being don't necessarily like a flower, think about the bees and the other insects and birds that do enjoy those plants, and try to tough it out for their benefit and yours in the long run. Without the bees, you're not going to have any food. Why did I put mulch under there if you don't see it? Because when I trim these shrubs back, you're gonna see the mulch. You'll see the edge of the pool deck. So I don't want to be hauling more mulch out then, so I figured put it on now and I can even it out once these shrubs are trimmed, but that's not for another couple of weeks. So I think we're done on this side. Looks good. All the bees. Just don't want to run out of mulch. So I don't want to go too far back if I'm not going to have enough for there. I should have enough. I calculated 60 bags, so I'm going to start here because you can see it from the pool anyway. It needs mulch. Holy poop, that little charger is actually really, really good. It charged a full second battery. I didn't know that. I honestly didn't think this battery had anything left in it. So that was a happy surprise. Anyway, I ran out of mulch. I didn't put any on the other side. I figure it's maybe a vegetable garden. Like I said before, there are tomatoes and it's pretty open, so maybe buy some plants and get some more mulch at the same time, because yeah, like I said, that's a very wide open garden over there. So anyways, I finished all along here, even here. Oh, my shadow. Okay, here, that's the bag of mulch. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a lot of bee activity in this corner. I'm gonna move. I've been lucky until now, so all along here I managed to get. Just saying, this corner I wasn't, and so this is going to be about 10 bags of mulch, because it goes behind. So to get all this covered, it would take another just about 10 bags. So then all along here, There's a lot of bees over here too. Keep moving. So I missed more mulch along the back, behind the bench. If I said that's 10, this is 11, 12. I already counted in the back, so we're up to 16 with those. Yo! I almost got bit. Almost. So yeah, that's where another, so maybe another actually 20 bags of mulch. Jeez. That'd be up to 80 bags. It's hard work doing 80 bags. So I got along here. And up to this corner. And I left this mess. It's already pretty late in the day and I don't have it in me to start another project, and besides I'm not even sure that the homeowner wants that done, so I'm not gonna start a job and that's not sort of approved. But as you can see, there's a lot of creeping Charlie still in here and nightshade and some good plants. So I mean, it wouldn't take forever to clear out. It's pretty quick, but somebody's got to do it, and I'm not the person who comes in to weed here. So if she ever gets in contact with me, then maybe I would suggest she offers up the idea to the homeowner, because I mean, this is all, there's a lot of plants, but there's a lot of weeds in there. And I never did get to that fence that has a whole bunch of little saplings, little maple trees over there. So apart from that, it's just the job I finished last week. So that's the vegetable garden I was saying about. So here, and then I did manage to get all along here mulched, so that looks nice. This should be edged, but again, I'm not here regularly, so I'm not gonna put my nose in. And then all this, and this still all looks nice. Here I want to put some plants. I already asked. I got the go ahead, so I can get some plants for there. I also got approval to get some plants to go in here. Why did they get removed? I planted plants right there. Why did they get taken out? Why did... I'm gonna have to ask the homeowner, but I planted 3 plants right here. And I don't think it's the homeowner that would have taken it out. Huh. So all these plants that I put in, just cleaned up. I just want to see what the side looks like. So that all looks pretty nice. I'm just confused. I'm sorry about what happened to those plants. I'm sure that they did not take them out. I'm sure. Huh. Because there were 3 beautiful geum that I planted there. I have I am so confused. Those plants just wouldn't get up and walk away. Huh. Anyway, that really sucks. And I had a good deal on them. And they were a beautiful color. Ah.